But
Well,
with,
I mean, the next upgrade could be that Coon subsoiler thing.
yes. Yes. But doesn't that require like 1,000,000 horsepower?
No. I think it needs like 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think it's too
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
horsepower hungry.
Okay. Next time we have to plow, we'll buy one of those. Or two. We can both get at it.
Like what I've been doing on my farm with seasons is immediately after I harvest, I plow anyway.
Okay.
You know, I have time before the ground freezes.
Now you don't need
So
to.
I'm just like,
You don't need to plow every season, though, do you? Or
no. But I do it anyway just because I have time.
okay.
You know, that way I can just automatically have the best, the best harvest next round.
I see.
But I have discovered planting at the right temperature and, inclement weather that pops up like immediately after planting. And whoever made this seasons mod, they got hundreds of points to affect how your crop comes up.
Really?
And yeah, and you can have wild variations in your harvest.
Great. That's kind of cool, though.
I mean, it's not like you're going to have a year where you get nothing unless you, let your crop freeze and wither. But,
Right.
You're always going to get something. But if you do everything right, you'll get a lot.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I think I like it better just because it takes away the daily of the farm sim, where like everything happens in 24 hours.
Right.
Now it takes time for things to happen.
And that's
which
how it should
also
be.
and it gives you time to do other things. Like you can now manage more fields because you just spend an entire day, like the entire day, planting all your different fields, and they'll all be ready around the same time.
Okay.
And then you can spend an entire day harvesting. You don't have to worry about getting everything done in 15 minutes.
Right. It might take a day or two to get the fields plowed.
Yeah, you have time to get things done with Seasons mod.
Interesting. Like it feels like it would be more compressed, but then at the same time it gives you more flexibility.
Yeah, like there are things that can cause you to panic, like it's snowing like all spring long, which I've had.
Okay.
And so like I ended up having to plant on the very first day of summer.
Oh.
And I ended up with a really sucky harvest, but I was like, you know what, at least I got something out of this.
That's cool, though. That makes it a lot more realistic. I like it.
There's lots of factors that can affect the gameplay. If you have a really harsh winter, it takes forever for all that snow to thaw.
Okay. Weird. What do you do during the winter? Feed the animals?
Feed the animals and clear snow off the roads.
Did you get money for that?
No, but it makes traveling safer.
Okay.
Like when if a great demand pops up during the winter, you don't want to be trying to pull a load while the road's super slick from snow.
Okay.
Or completely impassable when the snow's 1.5 feet deep. It's just every time it snows, you clean the roads you can. Some roads you can't, like improved roads that are like paved, like Goldcrest.
Okay.
Where that main highway is like way above.
Right.
The static ground of the map. That you'll have, you won't be able to clean that snow because it's pinned under the highway.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it's some weird, it's just like a problem with the physics of the game.
Okay.
And so there's nothing the guy that...
What do you use to clear the snow?
Sometimes I use the leveling blade just to, I collect a whole bunch on the blade and then I just push it off the road.
Okay.
Sometimes I use a front loader. I posted a mod in the Facebook group. It's a bulldozer that has it's the closest thing I could get to a
to the Rotex?
To a snowblower.
Oh, okay.
Thing.
Oh.
And it just eats up the snow in front of it, runs it along a conveyor belt up and over the top of this old school dozer, and then dumps it off the side.
Oh, yeah, I saw pictures of that. Yep.
Yeah, and I was like, that's the closest thing I could get to a snowblower.
Okay.
But someone on one of the third-party sites I use just posted a dedicated snowplow truck.
Okay, cool.
And so I'm going to get that, and I'm hoping that the blade can transition the material, off to the side.
Like a real snowplow, right.
Yeah, because the problem with the leveler is it just collects that material, and you have to drive off the road, lift up the blade so it'll all fall off.
I don't know if the game supports that kind of physics, though. Be nice if it did.
I think you can. It's just you have to use something that looks like a blade, functions kind of like a windrower.
Right.
And so it'll move the material off to the side.
Oh yeah, like a snow rower.
Yeah, but it'll be invisible snow rowing, but what you see is a blade sitting on the ground. So that's how it would have to work. But, people will figure it out. I have faith in the modders. There's a lot of really smart ones out there. So well, I haven't tried that truck yet, so I don't know if it works. Because I was in the middle of looking for other Massey Ferguson tractors and all that other stuff.
Okay.
And I just saw it as I was looking, and I was like, I'm gonna have to get that mod and check it out.
I hope they get some more Massey harvesters. I guess Jade was saying that the Black Sheep Modding is actually working on one. They wanted to include it in this pack, but they weren't able to get it out in time to make the contest. So, but they are apparently working on a couple harvesters or a harvester. So that'll be cool.
Yeah. I really hope the Seasons mod wins the contest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic. This is Seasons is the thing that should have been introduced in the game.
Yes. Yep.
From the get-go.
Yeah, because look at Farm Expert. It's got it. Farm Expert has a season system in it, which I love. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it makes the game more believable than the weather system that was in the game already.
Right.
Just, surprise snowstorm right after 6.5 hot days, and
right. Yeah, if you get a chance to play Farm Expert, or if it goes on sale, the 2017 one is pretty good. A lot of people dog on it, but it's actually a pretty good game.
I think I'm too much of a farm sim loyalist to...
You gotta try it, dude. I'm telling you. It'll change your mind on some of that stuff. It'll be like, why don't they do this in Farm Sim? I think, here's the thing. The ideas are excellent. The execution is... It's mediocre, yeah. Parts of it are just brilliant. Other parts of it are terrible. But it has a lot of merits. I think a lot of the animal system, though they don't have any cleaning now for the animals. Now that's something that Farm Sim added, but the animal system is fabulous. The seasons are, the way they handle it. You actually have a calendar year that you work on, so you have to watch the date. You can't fertilize until after the plants come up. If you don't put down fungicide, and you'll actually get weeds growing in the plants, or you'll lose crops. I mean, weeds growing within the crop. You'll also see like fungus growing in the crop. Bugs eat holes into the plant. Like you actually see the holes in the leaves of the plants if you don't do pesticide.
Oh, wow.
And you will lose. Like one time I forgot to spray one of the crops, and you lose like 30 to 50% of the crop. And you actually physically see the damage done to the crop for not doing what you're supposed to do. So there's some things like that that are already in the game that are just like, what? Why can't FarmSim add that?
Yeah. Well, what I've seen and heard of Farm Expert is lots of really cool features, but they never bothered to actually do any like debugging.
No, there's a lot of bugs. They are doing debugging, but what they do is they do debugging with each new version. So in 2016, sorry, it's getting late. I'm getting sleepy. In the 2016 version, bugs included like the tractors would slide on the ground. Things would fall through the ground at times. And they just never fixed that stuff. But with 2017, they fixed all that stuff. So it seems like the bugs that you have, like I found a bug in this version. If you plant more than like 600 trees in an orchard, it just stops planting. So you can't plant anymore. So there's like a limit, but you don't know what the limit is, and it's kind of vague. And so there's bugs like that. There's another bug too, like if you hire a worker to harvest your field, and then for some reason he gets stuck or lost, you lose that crop. Because he'll just drive around in circles, and you can't stop him to unload. And in order to reset him, you have to turn him off and start him up again, and you lose any crop that he had in the bin.
Oh, bummer.
So with a big harvester, you can lose your entire crop in one accident. So it's important that you do your own harvesting. But, they got crop dusting. If you hire somebody to spray your fields, a crop duster comes in and sprays it. And the calendar year is brilliant. Each month you get you see how much money your animals made, and they take up food, so you have to watch and make sure that they don't run out of food or they die. And then, the plants actually grow according to it's a full year calendar. So you play from, I want to say May 1st until September 31st.
Oh, wow.
And then it goes to the next year. So once you hit September 31st, the year is over. But you can plant winter crops. So like if you put wheat down, it won't grow over the winter, but it'll spring up early in the spring. And if you do winter wheat, you can get a second crop during the summer. But corn doesn't grow over the winter. So if you plant corn, it'll just die. It has a lot of cool stuff. Like it's really goofy and poorly executed, but the gameplay itself is excellent, and the farm management has a lot of stuff that's much more realistic than FarmSim. So, like, this is more like adding the seasons DLC or mod is much more akin to what Farm Expert has. Like, this is what Farm Expert is like. So I really like that. I think that's something that I'm glad somebody came up with a mod for this that makes it more like Farm Expert, because Farm Expert just has that stuff down really well. So I don't know. I think it's worth a try. This game definitely is way, way more polished.
Well, I think that's why I like FarmSim, is because
it's excellent. It's well put together. Right. It's well put together. Oh, but
it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of other games.
Right.
But the ones it has,
they're done well.
They work.
But it has now another thing I like about Farm Expert, it's got the deformable terrain. So when you plow, it actually makes ridges, and then as you drive over it, the tractor's like it bounces over the ridges, so they're actual ridges in the field. That kind of stuff is really cool. And you leave tracks everywhere, you get stuck in the mud. It's just it's got, I don't know, it's definitely not better than FarmSim. Like you said, this is a polished, finished product. Whereas Farm Expert does have a somewhat unfinished feeling. But this version, the 2017 version, is way ahead of like the 2015 and 2016 versions. So they're getting there. I would say probably 2 or 3 more years, and they may actually have a product that competes with FarmSim. They just need to pull the physics part together.
Yeah, but then there's the problem of Farm Sim's going to keep going too.
Well, yeah, and hopefully FarmSim will implement some of the stuff that they're doing.
They'll, by the time, by the time,
go ahead.
That other game catches up with,
FarmSim, it'll move forward.
Yeah, by the time it catches up with the quality of Farm Sim would have advanced to like a whole new level of quality.
Right. Maybe. Though they're catching up. They are, I mean, like I said, they've jumped leaps and bounds, whereas FarmSim has jumped a leap. This is a big leap between 15 and 17, but Farm Expert keeps jumping faster. Like, they keep moving ahead. Oh, another thing that they do, the tractors actually have, it's broken down into sections. So you have like the fascia, the shroud and stuff. You have the electrics. You have the gearing, the gearbox, and the brakes, and all of that stuff has to be maintained. So you actually can build a shop on your farm, and then you drive the tractor in, and it goes through each section of the tractor, like what's worn out, what's damaged, and as you use the tractor, those different systems get wear and tear on them, and then you have to repair them. And if you don't repair them, the tractor starts to run worse and worse. So you'll start having it stall out, and it's like way ahead of Farm Sim on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love Farm Sim, and Farm Sim's definitely the better game. But Farm Expert does, it keeps surprising me when I play it. I'm like, man, this is really cool. It's worth trying. It's worth giving it like a couple hours and going, man, this is like, when you go back to Farm Sim, you realize there's somewhat of a grind in the Farm Sim that Farm Expert has it too, but it's just different. It's got some really cool features that takes away from some of the monotony of the Farm Sim. And then it's got really bad bugs. Oh, like if you harvest too fast, like you can harvest any speed you want, but if you harvest too fast, you will damage your crops. So they have a tempestat. You can set like a cruise control. It has a 4-speed tempestat.
Oh, okay.
And I guess like the real ones have that too. Like real harvesters have that.
Yeah, they have settings for different crop types. That way you can just activate that crop type and it'll preset the machine.
Yep. And so the tractors and the harvesters have those tempestats. And if you start going too fast, it'll warn you, like, you better be careful. Oh, and then I had one time I did a harvest. I harvested wheat during the rain, and all the straw sank into the mud. So I didn't get any. I was able to harvest it, but I didn't get any straw.
That's weird that it even let you harvest at all, because
yep,
a lot of harvesters, like these days, the modern ones, they're constantly doing like moisture checks.
Yes. Yep.
As you go, and so the moment it detects like entirely too much moisture,
it just shuts off.
The machine stops itself.
Okay.
And it says, don't go any further because this moisture will damage the machine.
Oh, wow. Oh, because it gets too heavy for the machine to cut.
Yeah, and then, it gets sticky, and so all that crap starts sticking to the inside of the machine, and it can't clean it out, and, harvesters rely on whatever you're harvesting to be pretty much dry.
Yes.
That way, it can move freely through the machine, and if it's wet and sticky, it sticks to the walls, it gets jammed in between moving parts, and it'll overheat things. And
yeah, I never thought about that, but yeah, it's like mowing when the grass is wet. The lawnmower's like, it's like really struggling to mow.
All that crap gets caught in the bearings and blows them out. And a lot of problems. Like when we're we're cutting over here, if we're cutting through like the dry meadow grass, we have to take an air tank or an air compressor with us because all the dust in that grass gets caught up in the radiator screen.
Oh yeah, yep.
And he has kind of like the combine has. It has that little air filter pre-cleaner thing that
Right.
swings around on the cover.
Right, but that
He
doesn't
has
stop
that
it.
thing, but it can only handle so much.
Right.
Before, there's just so much crap on there that it can't handle anymore, and so we have to stop and clean it out and clean off that grid again, or else we risk overheating the cutter.
Oh my gosh, that would be awful. What kind of cutter is it? It's just like a mower. It's like a windrower type.
Yeah, it's a New Holland windrower.
Oh, it's like
Well,
what?
it's a disc bind.
Okay.
But yeah, we're constantly having to run maintenance like halfway through the cutting to make sure we don't damage equipment.
Oh, did you finish that field yet? I'm sorry.
I am very, very close. I'm like maybe 3 passes away from done.
Okay. I'm about halfway, I think.
But I will say this couch that's out here is really a pain in the butt.
Oh, there's like a couch?
Yeah, just a couch out next to the field. And with how little this thing, how little work this thing can do, that couch has been in my way for like the past 6 passes.
Yeah, it doesn't do much of the work, does it? I'll tell you what, this is the grind of grinds.
Yeah, this summer, my neighbors are gonna replant their pivot for oats, and he said he's gonna hire a crew to come do the plowing, because he's like, I would be out there with our plow in the tractor. I'd have to be in that machine 24 hours a day for like a week to plow that pivot. He was like, it's way cheaper and easier just to hire a crew that'll come in with monster size equipment and knock it out in like 2 days.
Oh, wow. That's cool that they do that.
You can hire crews to do like anything on a farm.
Well, that makes sense, because I'm sure there's lots of stuff that it just, especially if it's something like you're doing different that you don't normally do.
Yeah,
and you don't have the equipment for it.
He's hired a bale stacking crew.
Okay.
Because he was on a few different time constraints. Because he also does. He's a hunting guide.
Okay.
And then he does some other stuff, other hunting stuff in other places, and sometimes he ends up on time constraints, and all he has time to do is bale, and he has to leave all the bales on the field, and so he'll hire a crew to come pick up all the bales and stack them.
Oh, okay, all right.
And they'll show up with a bunch of really nifty looking trucks that they just ram into the bale, and it picks up the bale and swings it up over the top, puts it down a stack.
Oh, like a garbage truck.
Yeah. And these trucks will carry 8 bales. And what they do is like the way the machine is designed, it can unload 4 of those 8 bales, puts the tray down, the 4 that are like over the cab will slide down onto the tray, and he'll pull forward a little bit and then stack those up.
Okay.
And so it's a really neat machine. Alright, I just finished 40.
Awesome. Keep going, man.
Now I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, that one's like that field's hard to get to. I love the fact that the lights on these tractors are yellow.
Yeah, they're old school. Let's see here. Had to go up, hit a tree.
That's cool. As the day goes on, the temperature's going up.
How did I get to this place before? Oh, here we go.
Do you want to come help me finish this field?
Yeah, I can come over there.
Help me. It's not going to be nice and straight, though. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm just following the first furrow each time I go.
I think I took a wrong turn on this animal farm. Let's see here. Oops. There we go.
Kyle's getting lost.
Well, then I also hit my switch vehicle button on my steering wheel, and all of a sudden was in a completely different tractor.
Switched vehicles. Once we're done with this field, I probably have to go to bed for the night. I have to get up early tomorrow.
All right.
But I'm thinking maybe we could pick up again Friday. Like Friday afternoon or Friday evening. Though I did promise Mater I'd play Starbound with him also. So.
All right, well, family first.
Mater, I'm going to be available Saturday. Are you going to join our server Saturday morning, you think?
Depends on the work I got left to do on the farm.
Okay, fair enough.
I still got to finish putting my tractor
together.
Or, fixing that leak.
Come, Kyle, join me. What speed is your tractor plowing at?
7.
Okay, yeah, me too.
I just floor it and whatever it goes with.
I use the cruise control so I don't have to keep my foot on the pedal.
Well, the good thing about this farm sim wheel is the pedals are really light.
Yeah, that's true. They are.
Like, the weight of my foot goes full throttle.
So you haven't had any problems with that, huh?
No, it actually works fantastic.
Dang it. Why did mine have so many problems?
I think it's just...
luck of the draw.
Mad Catz has terrible quality control. I'm glad that company just finally self-destructed and went under.
Man, I wonder if the new one's any better. I still want one.
Yeah, I think whoever's in charge now, Logitech or whoever, I think they're going to force some quality control into this.
I hope so.
But yeah, mine works great. I clean it out all the time. I take the back plate off my throttle.
Okay.
And blow out all the dog hair and dirt and stuff that piles up in it.
Arf, arf.
I'm always blowing out the console and the steering wheel.
How do you like that tractor?
Nice. Lots of power.
It's really only 105, I think, but still, it seems like it's plenty for this stuff anyway.
Well, it's built like the old tractors, where very little horsepower, but they were really good at converting that minuscule amount of horsepower into a ludicrous amount of torque.
Yes, yep. And they're heavier too, I think. They were just real heavy machines, you know. That helps with tractive effort.
Made out of, pig iron and brimstone.
Pig iron. I'm going to let you go first. Visually, it'll be more visually stunning for you to go first. These tractors are actually very similar, yours and mine.
I think they are the same tractor.
Just mine's an older version.
Well, like, different engine size and stuff. But, they use all the same body panels and all that.
Yeah, it looks like it. Though your wheel panels are different than mine. Mine are square and yours have like an angle to them. And your back window's different than mine too. That's the 3000 series. This is a 600 series.
Okay. Yeah, so mine's a slightly bigger model.
Yep. Not much, though. Maybe more modern. Yours says electronique on the door.
For whatever reason.
Right.
All right. I'm going to do a straight, travel.
Okay.
GPS, and we'll see what that gets me. Or gets us, anyway.
Don't forget to put your little... Yeah. My tractor's not electronic. I don't have GPS. Well, the nice thing is now that they have Massey Ferguson in the game, if we eventually do want to go bigger and bigger and modernize, we can keep these tractors and add other Massey tractors into the fold, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the field lines, we've been wandering to the left.
Okay.
When we get down here to the end.
Well, I've been wandering left and right, kind of just following the curve of the field, because that's how the field is up at the top. It has a left and then a right. So I just stayed on those lines. Awesome. And this actually works out good because I can put my furrow or my wheel right in your furrow and follow along and keep it straight.
So my high tech is helping your low tech.
That's right. I think you are picking up speed on me though. Like you're pulling ahead. Yeah, you're definitely outdistancing me. Which is odd because I really only have like 5 or 6 horsepower less. But could also be my wheels are spinning, so it might be the traction thing too.
Yeah.
Though now you're kind of staying about the same distance from me. But when we were going up that hill, you definitely were pulling ahead. Sorry. Beep. Oops. Oh, I got it. I'm way behind you. This is fun. I actually kind of enjoy doing the small tractors. I don't know why. I just it's a lot more work.
It feels more personal in
the
game.
Yes. I don't feel like I'm in this high sweeping view, not really seeing what's happening, you know, like looking from the outside of the tractor from like 6 miles away. Big Bud definitely separates you from the terrain, you know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like Big Bud just because it's
awesome.
You know, you're driving up. You're driving a warehouse.
Right.
You know, like I never put the duals on my Big Bud because the tractor seems more impressive with that perfectly flat side on it.
Yes.
You know, and then you put the wheels on it and it seems like shorter somehow.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, because it's so freaking wide, it looks like it's short. Now, does your tractor have a dent in the hood to make it like a line going up the hood? Or is it flat?
Sort of.
Mine has a definite line.
It's a very vague line.
Let's see. Yeah, yours is different than mine. Mine actually, I think... No, I guess it's the same.
And it's just very, very vague. It's not, you know, pronounced.
Mine's pronounced. Mine actually has like a line.
Oh yeah, I can see your line.
Yep.
Oh, that was kind of a weird start.
Yeah. That's all right. I'll tell you what, this is going so much faster now that you're here.